How's it going, traders? Hopefully you guys enjoy this weekly Forex forecast, and make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Alright, we are going to be starting with the US dollar index. The past week the banks added 630 long positions and they got rid of 459 short positions. If you do want this Cot Report spreadsheet for lifetime access, link in the description down below to Patreon. Now remember, I've been talking about the US dollar for a while now. Very strong uptrend on the weekly chart, and we pretty much contacted weekly demand. But if you look at a daily chart here, it's very clear what is happening. In my opinion, we have lost momentum. Yes, the overall trend is still up, but in this area of price, we have lost momentum by removing this daily demand. Now we are reacting off of this daily supply zone. As you can see, we are reacting off of it perfectly right now. Now, this does not mean that we are going to see the US dollar just absolutely tank from this daily supply zone, although it is very possible that we do see a reaction lower off of that daily supply zone to see the US dollar push lower. But in my opinion, we have to be looking for long still based on the weekly uptrend. But in my opinion, it is much safer to wait for longs when we remove this high and this supply zone, because that would prove to us that this daily uptrend is going to continue along with that weekly uptrend. So in my opinion, if you're watching the US dollar, you should be watching this daily supply zone to a T this week. It's very, very important. Now, that does not mean that we can't just be buying the US dollar without this removed. It's just safer to see that high removed and that supply removed first before we actually do get in long. So with that being said, let's look at some of the other pairs for some actual trading opportunities this week. All right, on to the forecast for the Euro US dollar. The past week, the banks got rid of 3,255 long positions, and they also added 2,928 short positions. Now, remember, on the Euro, we have strong weekly and pretty much daily downtrends as well. This is not really a daily downtrend, but the overall momentum is down on the top two time frames. Now, if you remember in last week's forecast, if you look at this 4-hour chart, I talked in that video about how we needed to see this 4-hour demand zone removed first before we just hop in short to continue to trade with that weekly downtrend. And why did I say that? Well, because this is a very strong 4-hour demand zone. As you can see, we reacted off of it perfectly. Now, did this demand zone hold and did we go to the moon? Absolutely not. It even wicked right through the demand zone. But as you can see, as soon as we contact this demand, it price shoots up. So if you're day trading on a 1 minute, 5 minute, or even a 50-minute time frame, you could be correct to be trading with a downward trend on those time frames. But as you can see, as soon as we contact this 4-hour demand, price just pushes up from that area. So that is why I always take pride in my analysis and point things out like this 4-hour demand zone and say when not to trade. And that is very, very important in trading. Now, as far as the euro goes, we still have those weekly downtrend on the euro, so we want to be looking for shorts. But just like I said last week, I want to see this 4-hour demand zone fully removed first before we just get in short. Now, if something like that does take place, we can be, and there's a 4-hour supply zone right here, we could be looking for a 50-minute day trade confirmation coming off of that 4-hour supply zone like that, if that does take place. And if you don't know what confirmation trading is, or if you want to learn more about confirmation trading, I have a full video series in the Tier 2 Patreon YouTube membership where I break that down, and there's a lot of other things included in the membership, just like a private Discord group, custom daily analysis, and also private live streams every Sunday for that. So with that being said, check out that membership. We're happy to see you guys join the team. So I'm just waiting for this 4-hour demand to be removed first before getting in short. But the euro is definitely on the top of my watch list this week as far as trading goes, because I want to be continuing to trade with that weekly downtrend. Now, yes, as I said on the US dollar, it would be best if that US dollar supply zone on the daily chart was removed first. But like I said, it doesn't mean that trading short right now and waiting for that demand to be removed and jumping the gun is a bad idea. It's just a little bit more risky. All right, on to the gold forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 3,400 long positions, and they also got rid of 9,438 short positions. Now, if you remember from last week's forecast, I talked about how I got in long at this daily demand right here, but my stop loss is at break even right now. So I'm still in gold long, but my stop loss is at break even, so my risk is 0 right now. I also talked about how we are reacting off of this daily downward trend line, and I personally believe that we would be seeing a move up from that trend line. But as you can see, I was wrong, and we are pushing back down, and we're even basically breaking this daily demand right there. So we still have about 42 minutes left at the time of recording this, but right now this daily demand is being removed. So gold gold is actually looking extremely weak right now. The only problem with gold is on my macro time frame analysis, we are inside of a 3-month demand zone and a 3-month uptrend as well. It does not mean that we're going to see a huge move from gold from here, but it's definitely something to consider. So shorting is risky, but going in long is risky as well based on my macro analysis. So as far as trading setups go right now, to be very clear, on gold, I wouldn't even consider shorting until we can fully get this daily demand removed. Now, I would prefer to see this demand removed as well, something like this, because then we would have a more clear daily downtrend, and then shorting would be a much higher odds situation. So that's probably what I'm going to be waiting for here on gold. As far as longs go, we are going to need to see some better confirmation. Now, we did, on the daily chart, we did get the confirmation that price is going higher. But as you can see, confirmation is not a perfect strategy, and we did push back down. So now what I'll be looking for is hopefully we will get some sort of daily supply right here where I just drew those lines, if we can start to see price push lower. And then if something like this takes place and we remove this daily supply, then if there's daily demand here, you could look for confirmation inside that daily demand. That's what I'll be looking to do to add to my long position or re-enter a long position if I end up getting stopped out at break even. So gold looking pretty weird right now. Another option for shorts is we do have a 1-hour downtrend. You could have been looking for shorts in this 1-hour supply zone. It would have been a little bit risky, but day trading short on like a 1-minute, 5-minute time frame, it's all right in my opinion. And I will have a day trading confirmation video coming out tomorrow. It might even be released right now based on what time you're watching this video. But definitely stay tuned for that. So you could be day trading like 5-minute, 1-minute time frames for the short side, but profits should be definitely taken pretty early based on the idea that we are in very high time frame demand and reacting off of it currently. All right, looking at USDJPY forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 1,043 long contracts, and they also added 3,187 short contracts. Now, as far as the USD yen goes, very strong weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 1-hour uptrends. So you guessed it, it's going to be longs all the way here. Now, in the last couple forecasts, I was talking about how I needed to see this 4-hour supply zone taken out before getting in long. And as you can see, as soon as we broke out of the zone, what a beautiful breakout trading opportunity there. Hopefully some of you guys got involved in that trade. If you did, let me know. Now, as far as the USD yen goes right now, like I said, it's longs all the way. And I see one potential trade setup right now. There is this 1-hour demand zone right here. I'm not a huge fan of the move away. So in my opinion, you are going to need 5-minute confirmation to the long side before just getting in long. So we need confirmation in this area. The same thing goes for this 1-hour demand zone as well, especially this one. So we need to see confirmation in both of these areas of 1-hour demand. Now, if this 1-hour demand zone gets removed, and so does that 4-hour demand zone, well, actually that 4-hour demand zone will be right around here. Now, I don't really have this as demand yet, but I will draw it out. So we have a potential 4-hour demand zone right here. So you could look for 50-minute confirmation longs coming off of that. And let's say that zone gets removed as well. Well, then where is price headed? We have to then go to a daily chart. And I don't really see any clear areas where price could be headed. I guess you could say it could be going to this daily demand here, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't really like this move away. So hopefully we can get a bigger push up, which would make this daily demand right here more clear, and then we can get involved long in that area. So I do not recommend getting in short right now on the USD yen at all, although yes, it could work. And if you are going to short, it must be on like a 1-minute or 5-minute time frame at most, based on these strong trends. So USD yen overall looking extremely bullish. We just need to wait for those pullbacks to potentially get in long. GBPUSD forecast. The past week, the banks added 6,901 long positions and they got rid of 3,468 short positions. Now, if you remember, we have a very strong weekly downtrend, a little bit of hesitation here in the daily chart, but the overall momentum is down and we are actually reacting off of this daily supply zone. So when we have a daily supply zone here, in a weekly downtrend, we want to be looking for shorts. Now, I'm not in love with this daily supply zone. I think it's a very, very weak supply zone. So with that being said, I would not recommend just shorting right here and then trying to, get a trade off of that. So we will need confirmation. And if you look here, the confirmation is very, very clear. We have this 4-hour demand zone right here. And we want to see this 4-hour demand zone removed because who knows, we could see a reaction off of this 4-hour demand just like that to the upside and then eventually breaking that daily supply. So since this 4-hour demand zone was responsible for moving this 4-hour supply zone, that was responsible for moving this 4-hour demand zone. I know it's a little bit confusing. I want to see this 4-hour demand removed. So if we get something like this, where we get 4-hour supply, just like that, that is the zone we will potentially be looking for a trade off of that 4-hour supply as confirmation. Now, if you want to get this zone throughout the week and many other zones, check out the Tier 1 YouTube Patreon membership, where you can get my daily chart analysis on a bunch of pairs, as you can see on the screen right now, for only $5 CAD per month. So definitely check that out. We'll be happy to see you guys join the team and potentially use my zones for trading opportunities. So that's what I'm waiting for on the GBPUSD. Pretty strong weekly downtrend. We just need to wait for that confirmation on the 4-hour chart to potentially get in short. Now, if this daily supply ends up breaking, then in my opinion, we could start to see the pound move up towards this weekly area of supply up here, but that is for another forecast, maybe even a couple weeks from now. So we need to be watching this daily supply as well as this 4-hour demand to potentially look for a trading opportunity in GBPUSD. Onto USDCAD, the Canadian dollar. The past week, the banks added 495 long positions, and they got rid of 3,770 short positions. Now, we do have a strong weekly uptrend as well as a strong daily uptrend, and I did predict that price was probably going to be going higher based on these two trends and the fact that daily demand was in control. But if you look at the 4-hour chart, it's just not the best price action at all. We did break above this high, but as you can see, it was kind of a fake out, then an even bigger fake out, and then there's a fake out down below. So just very, very choppy price action. So for that reason, I haven't really been looking at the USDCAD. Now, since we have strong trends on the daily and the weekly chart, we need to wait for the lower time frames to start trending again, just like the 1-hour chart that we are looking at right now. We do have a 1-hour supply zone right here, so I would love to see this 1-hour supply zone removed. And if we have 1-hour demand right here, this is the 1-hour demand zone where you could look for a day trade coming off of that 1-hour demand on like a 5-minute or a 1-minute chart. Confirmation will definitely be needed inside that area if that is the case. Now, obviously, if you look at the 4-hour chart, yes, price is trending up. But like I said, I don't love this price action. It'd be much better if we can get a very clear breakout with better price action like this, and then getting in long is higher odds. But there's nothing wrong with waiting for that 1-hour supply to be removed first before getting in long. So as far as shorts go, I don't recommend it, although it would be fantastic to potentially get a short trade down to this weekly demand, where then I would switch to long at that weekly demand. But I'm just not seeing any evidence of that just yet. The evidence I would need to see for that to take place would be on this 4-hour chart. If we can get something like this, where we can get this 4-hour demand removed, as well as have a very clear 4-hour downtrend, then we could start to day trade short on the 15-minute, 5-minute, or the 1-minute chart. But until then, we still have trends on the weekly, daily, and the 4-hour chart, so it's longs all the way. Just need to wait for this 1-hour supply to be removed first. AUDUSD forecast, the Aussie dollar. The past week, the banks got rid of 6,923 long positions, and they also got rid of 3,416 short positions. Now, in the comments down below, let me know what pairs you guys are trading this week. I'd be interested to see what you guys think is going to happen in the market this week. So definitely comment down below. I will respond to everybody. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar here, strong weekly and daily and 4-hour downtrends, but we are currently being held up by this 1-hour demand right here. So as far as shorts go, I prefer to see this low be removed first so we can continue with the 1-hour downtrend as well, but there's nothing wrong with trading short right now, however you guys like to trade. Now, there would have been a couple fantastic shorting opportunities in here in this 4-hour supply, but as you can see, we could barely pull up to that supply, so clearly there was a lot of selling in that area. We just really couldn't get the pullback to that area. So now what I would be waiting for here, to keep it very simple, is I would be waiting for new 1-hour supply zones to be formed along the way down, and then we could look to trade those 1-hour supply zones along the way. But we need to see this demand and that low removed first before doing so. Now, you could also be waiting on the 4-hour chart for new 4-hour supply zones to be formed and looking to short at those 4-hour supply zones, especially since we have a weekly downtrend. But what I do personally hope happens here on a lot of the pairs, even the Aussie dollar, is that we start to potentially retrace to the upside to higher time frame supply, where we can get a fantastic dip shorting or dip buying, whatever you want to call it, opportunity off of those higher time frame areas of supply. But as far as the Aussie dollar goes, it's looking very weak. We just need to wait for new 4-hour supply zones or 1-hour supply zones that we can look to short from. USDCHF forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 3,277 long positions, and they also got rid of 2,315 short positions. We do have weekly and daily uptrends, as well as a 4-hour uptrend and even a 1-hour uptrend on the USD Swiss franc. So with that being said, it's pretty much longs all the way, although I hate the price action I'm seeing on the lower time frames. It's very, very choppy and wicky, but at the end of the day, we have uptrends, so it's longs all the way. And I'm actually not even seeing any potential trading setups. What I would be looking for here, and this is going to be a very short forecast for the USD Swiss franc because it's so choppy, we need to see clear-cut, high-quality 4-hour demand zones or 1-hour demand zones to get in long at. Now, I will have those demand zones for the YouTube and Patreon members, so make sure you're signed up for that if you do want to receive those zones. But right now, I am seeing no zones that I can, show the public forecast. I'm seeing nothing right now. That is why it's important to have the zones throughout the week. So that's what I'd be waiting for here on the USD Swiss. Other than that, there's really not much else to say. If you don't trade supply and demand and you trade some other strategy, that's fine. But in my honest opinion, I do believe it's going to continue to go up. So however you like to trade, it's pretty much longs all the way for now. Last but not least, we have crude oil. The past week, the banks added 13,563 long contracts, and they got rid of 3,658 short contracts. Now, I have been talking about it in oil. We are reacting off of 3-month demand, so I am looking for longs, and that is why I believe we are seeing the rally in oil. Now, it's not looking fantastic for longs yet, but I will show you what I am going to be doing as far as getting in long on oil goes. Now, I will be waiting for this daily demand to be hit, and then I will look for 1-hour confirmation coming off this daily demand. I have not decided yet if I do plan on getting long with a stop well below down here to target the all-time highs on oil, because I do believe we could potentially go there in the next year or so. So I'm looking to potentially invest more in oil. I am an oil long-term investment anyways that I've been holding for a long time. So I am looking to add to that position. Now, as far as trading goes, there's a few options. You could wait for this daily demand to be hit and look for a 1-hour confirmation long coming off of that. Or let's say price starts to push up here, we remove this daily supply. Any daily demand here will be used as potential confirmation trade coming off of that daily demand. So that is definitely the safest option as of now. The next option is to wait for this 4-hour supply to be removed, and if we have 4-hour demand here, you could look to trade that 4-hour demand once we get that 4-hour supply removed. That is a little bit more risky. Now, the other option for longs is to just wait on a single time frame like the 1-hour chart, wait for this 1-hour supply and this downward trend line to be removed, and any 1-hour demand here, you could use this 1-hour demand for a day trade opportunity coming off of that. So that's what I'm waiting for here on oil. Remember, my macro analysis is showing me that we are in 3-month demand on oil. So I do suspect we could see a push up to 105 in the next couple months. That is why I'm trying to set myself up to potentially get in long on oil. And if this daily demand ends up getting removed, then I might have to switch my thesis for now on oil. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.